When it comes to B2B SaaS businesses, and when it comes to growing them, there's the old way and the new way of driving growth. The old way was to actually think about leads. That's more of a defensive position because you're trying to just get the leads to come in and then you're kind of defending which ones are the right leads and which one you focus on, which one you don't, and you hope that they're good leads that are coming through. The new way is to actually focus on accounts instead of leads. Accounts are really more of an offensive play. With accounts, you're saying, here are the accounts we really want, and you actually run an offensive play to go after those accounts because you know they're going to be great customers. This is where account-based marketing comes into play. Now, while this idea has existed for a while, only now B2B SaaS companies are really starting to embrace account-based marketing, and there's the right technology to support them in actually deploying ABM campaigns. In this episode, I'm going to dig into exactly how you can deploy an ABM strategy to drive growth for your SaaS business in 5 easy steps. Intro. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Unstoppable. I'm TK, and on this channel, I help SaaS founders like you accelerate your path to the next stage of growth with an unstoppable strategy. If you are new to the channel, welcome. It's really great to have you here. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and that bell icon because I drop an episode like this every Sunday, Wednesday, and Friday to help you grow your SaaS business, and you'll want to be notified, right? So go ahead and hit that subscribe button and that bell icon, and you'll get notified right away whenever I drop an episode with the TK energy. Now, also, if you are already part of the community, if you're part of my SaaS go-to-market coaching program, welcome back. It's really great to see you here. In this episode, I'm going to dig into how you can deploy an account-based marketing strategy to accelerate the growth of your SaaS business. I'm going to walk you through the 5 steps that applies to actually deploy this strategy, and we're going to talk a little bit around why this is so much more powerful than just waiting around and looking at your leads and hoping they're great, which is more of a defensive play. Whereas running an ABM strategy is more of an offensive play to drive growth. I've used this strategy, this ABM strategy, over at ToutApp to drive our growth. We also used it at Marketo, needless to say, because Marketo really opened up this idea around ABM and built a whole platform around it. So based on all of my experience in building SaaS businesses and operating revenue technology businesses, I'm going to dig into the 5 principles that you need to know. So if you're excited to dig in, go ahead and smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm, and let's get right into it. Okay, so I'm going to walk you through the 5 key steps that you need to follow for deploying an ABM strategy, step by step. The first thing you really need to look at to figure out your ABM strategy is first looking at your customer base. Within your customer base, even if it's small right now, what you want to do is find out the highest LTV customers. Who are the customers that have the highest LTV? They buy the most, they renew, and they don't complain a lot, and they're successful with your platform. These are essentially your best customers. And what you want to do is identify a list of them. Why? The reason for that is it's going to give you a clue into what segment of the market, what part of the market, what type of customers, what type of accounts you're already starting to see success with. Because instead of just saying, here's all the people we want and hope need us, you're starting to say, here's the people who are already getting success with us. Let's figure out a way to go get more of them. This is the best way to start an account-based marketing strategy because you're going off of data. You're not just hoping and praying that these people will buy. You're saying these people already buy. Let's go find more of them and then go to them. This is principle number 1 of every successful ABM strategy. Figure out who are your best customers so that then you can start to go find more of them. You guys getting this? Once you've done that, that's what you take. You take all that data and feed it into building an ideal customer profile. An ideal customer profile is essentially a codified version of exactly who are the people that are most likely to buy your software. What are the characteristics that makes them successful and makes them actually need your software right now? And lastly, who they are specifically so you can go after them. This is what an ICP codifies. Now, by the way, in my next episode, I'm actually going to be walking you through how to create an ICP. So be sure to hit that subscribe button and that bell icon if you're not a subscriber already so you get notified when I drop that episode. We'll go a little bit more in depth into how to create an ICP. But anyway, once you've gotten the data on who are your best customers, you want to codify that into an ICP so you start to understand here are the type of customers and accounts we really are going to be successful with based on the data that we have, even if it's small data in the early days. Once you've done that, you want to take that ICP and start to build out a target account list. The biggest thing here is what you're doing is instead of just hoping these people come and staying in the abstract, you want to build out your dream 100 customers into a list. You want to make a list of your dream 100 customers that are going to be wildly successful if they were to find out about your platform and come on. And this is all based on data, right? You know these type of customers are going to be successful, and therefore based on that, you're going to build out a list of your dream 100 customers. You're going to also make sure you don't just think about it as an account. You want to think about these are the core accounts, and here are the core people. Maybe it's the CEO or the CIO or the VP sales, whoever you're selling to. You want to actually flesh this out into a list of concrete people and a list of target accounts that you believe should be your dream 100. These are going to be your next 100 customers. All right, so let me pause here for a second before I go into 4 and 5, which is really more about your go-to-market machine. These 3 steps, let me just pause here. These 3 steps are super powerful. If you do this, you'll switch from a defensive go-to-market machine to an offensive go-to-market machine, because you're going to be very much purposeful about who you're going after, who you want as customers, and how to go after them. If you're starting to see the power in this, go ahead and smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm, and also let me just get a yes in the comments below. I want to hear from you on what you're seeing so far, what insights you're getting, if you're excited about digging in and applying this account-based marketing principle and strategy to your SaaS business to drive growth. Also, if you want to dig more into this, building out an account-based marketing strategy is just one of the critical growth levers in growing your SaaS business. I outlined 5 critical SaaS growth levers that'll help you kickstart the growth of your SaaS business inside of my SaaS growth playbook. It's completely free. I'll link to it below, and I'll also tell you more about it at the end of this video. But let's go back to principle number 4 and 5 so we can round out your steps for building an ABM strategy. Once you have these 3 things, a couple of things will happen. You'll have a list of 100 customers that you really want to go after. You'll start to understand some key people you really want to target. You'll start to get a lot more focus on the type of customer, the type of ideal customer that you want to go after. Based on this, based on these market insights, what you really want to do is build out your manifesto. Now, I teach you how to build a manifesto inside of my Go-to-Market SaaS program. And inside of that program, I actually walk you through what are the key things you need to incorporate in your manifesto to make it persuasive, effective, so you can attract these people. So what you'll want to do is craft a manifesto. This is about an 8-slide document, a PDF that you can use as part of your go-to-market strategy to attract these people. Now, I talk a lot more about how a manifesto works and how to incorporate it inside of my go-to-market program. So I'll link to that below, and you can check that out if you want to learn more about how to craft a manifesto. But the key thing here is you need something that uniquely speaks to this group of 100 people that you've outlined, that gets their attention, that communicates the value and the change you're trying to bring to their lives, and gets them to take action on actually saying, you know what, we need a platform like this so we can take advantage of this new opportunity. That's really what a manifesto is, and you want to actually do the work to create that and craft that message. When you have a great manifesto, your value proposition becomes easier, your messaging becomes easier, and you have a much clearer strategic narrative. So that's what the manifesto step is. You want to get all that messaging right. And once you've done that, then you want to take that manifesto and mobilize it through a Broadway show. A Broadway show is essentially the marketing and sales actions and activities and motions you do on a weekly basis. Now, there's 2 ways to do this. You could just come up with a random set of things to do every day and every week, or you run a very concerted effort to promote your manifesto every week. That's one Broadway show that you promote every week. And that's the final part about mobilizing your ABM strategy. So what ends up happening is by the time you have your Dream 100, you will have a set of accounts. And what you're going to do every week is go target and reach out to these target accounts. And that's your Broadway show. How does a Broadway show come together? There's a few things you can be doing. First of all, you can actually connect via social, right? You can actually connect with the people in your Dream 100. The other thing you can do is every week, you can actually share a post on this social network so that they see your content specifically tying to your manifesto, so they can start to interact with you as a brand and learn more about what you're doing. What you can also do is do outbound DM or email. And you can engage with these accounts in a strategic way using the messaging you define in your manifesto to actually connect with these accounts. The other thing you can do is as they are interacting with your manifesto and your posts and going to your website, the other thing you can do is you can retarget them. This is what we call all bound. When you retarget them, what ends up happening is they're going to see you everywhere. And you'll be able to retarget them because they were on your website, they looked at your manifesto, and it'll seem like you're on their social feeds, you're emailing them, and every website they go to has your ad. It's going to feel like you are everywhere, and the universe is just telling these people that they need to buy this thing. And the messaging in the manifesto will help them understand why it's an important, urgent, frequent problem they need to solve now, and they can if they just invest in your platform. Now, the beauty of ABM is it doesn't just stick to digital. The other things you can do, because you know these are high value accounts, they're part of your Dream 100, you can also send them a FedEx envelope. I have some friends at PFL, they specialize in sending mail to your target accounts as part of a B2B strategy. They call it tactile marketing. And one of the things they always say is there's a 98% open rate on a FedEx envelope. So if you mail someone a FedEx envelope and they're a highly valued account and you send them a copy of your manifesto and then some other swag with your logo on it, they're going to open it 98% of the time because it's a FedEx envelope. It's really usually important. So you can actually do physical mail and email them and actually mail them the manifesto and other goodies to get more awareness around your brand. And the last thing you can do is you can invite them to a webinar or an event or a dinner to also further engage them. And so when you actually follow these 5 steps, you figure out who your best customers are, you figure out your ICP, and you figure out your target accounts, your Dream 100, and then you build out your manifesto, and then you run this Broadway show which surrounds this account wherever they go, everything starts to come together. And what you end up with is, instead of just defending on the leads that are coming in, figuring out what's good and trying to score them, you're saying, forget that, we're going to go on the offense. We're going to go after our Dream 100 clients in multiple ways using the very strategic messaging that we develop in our manifesto. And when we do all these things, everything comes together and actually drives to more growth, more customers, more revenues, and everything starts to come together on our terms. This is something that every SaaS business that's looking to grow more aggressively must adopt. A lot of these things are core marketing principles. They're not specific to ABM. All ABM has done is just pull together the right things to say, this is what you need to be doing. And this is essentially how the whole thing comes together. When you do this, you will actually be able to drive growth on your terms and accelerate your path to that next stage of growth. So that's what an ABM strategy is. That's how you do account-based marketing. Those are the 5 steps. Now, there are a lot of insider things that I mentioned here, like manifestos and Broadway shows. So if you're in that stage where you're building out your SaaS business and you really want to take it to the next stage, I have 2 resources for you. The first resource is my SaaS Growth Playbook. It's completely free. It's a PDF. So all you need to do is go to tkkader.com/playbook or just follow the link below. It's a free download. You can download it. It'll give you the 5 critical growth levers, one of them being account-based marketing, and actually drive the growth of your SaaS business. So you can start to learn about these concepts a little bit more. The other resource that I'll give you is my SaaS go-to-market coaching program. So I have a lot of videos on YouTube that tell you about these different concepts that you can start to adopt around your SaaS business. I tell you what they are. I tell you why they exist. And over here, I gave you the steps that you will have to follow to build an ABM engine so you can accelerate your growth. But a lot of times founders are like, hey, what is the framework to follow? What are the steps? And how do I do this faster? How do I incorporate all of this? One of the things I didn't want people to be is get overwhelmed with all the different things. This is why I created my SaaS go-to-market coaching program. Inside of the program, you're going to get a streamlined way to actually build out your ICP, your Dream 100, to actually create your manifesto, which is your strategic narrative, and then run it through your Broadway show. You get the blueprint, you get the framework, you get the training, and then you get to work with me to actually make sure you're doing each step right so that you can accelerate your path to the next stage of growth. So if you're in that stage where you're with some revenues and you really want to scale your revenues, you want to deploy an ABM strategy, and you really want to accelerate your growth, I invite you to go apply to join my SaaS go-to-market program. So here's how it works. You follow the link, go to tkkader.com/GTM. And in there, you'll learn everything about the program, and there's a little apply button. You follow the apply button, answer a couple of questions. That'll help me validate that I can actually help you. If I can, then we'll get on a strategy call. Inside of the strategy call, it's completely free, no strings attached, no pressure. We'll talk through where you are in your SaaS business, where you want to go, and if the go-to-market program can actually help you. Once we determine that, you can decide if you want to join or not, and we can take it from there. So I invite you to go check out my go-to-market program and apply to get on a strategy call with me. And then we can figure out if we can work together to accelerate your path and put all this stuff into play. And here's the thing, you're gonna have to do this anyway. You're gonna have to figure out what your messaging is. You're gonna have to figure out what your marketing activities are. why not follow a framework? And that's really what I teach you inside of the program. So go ahead and go to tkkader.com/GTM and you can apply to join the program. And also you can get a copy of my SaaS growth playbook, which will give you some more of these concepts. And then you can start to drive the growth of your SaaS business. If you got value from this video, be sure to smash that like button for that YouTube algorithm. And also share this video with other co-founders, SaaS founders that might get value from it. And lastly, remember, I drop an episode every Sunday, Wednesday, and Friday. So be sure to hit the subscribe button and that bell icon if you haven't already, so you get notified when I drop an episode on how to grow SaaS businesses. Lastly, remember this one thing. Everyone needs a strategy for their life and their business. When you are with us, yours is going to be unstoppable. I'm TK. I'll see you in the next episode, or really more on a strategy call for joining the go-to-market program. Take care.